took a road trip today and I am walking through Grange, which is a new community in Katy near Cane Island. If you're familiar with the area, it's right off of the I-10 freeway by the Buc-ee's. Everybody knows and loves Buc-ee's, right? Lots of builders to look at, so I can't wait to go in and look at these models. And what I'm really excited about is I have Ilich Ramirez with me today. He is what's known as a Grange Ranger. He's an ambassador realtor to this community, so he's got all the inside scoops. So I can't wait to talk to him and share it with you guys. So your first name is pronounced Ilich.
So yeah, my first name's Ilich, and it's funny because if you Google my name, you get the Jackal. The Jackal is the assassin from the 70s, and my name is Ilich Napoleon Ramirez. His name is Ilich Napoleon Ramirez Conrad. So, and it just happenstance. My parents did not want me to be an assassin or anything like that, but it's just one of those things, and it's weird. I didn't know this until 7th grade when my 7th grade teacher was like, "You can't come in here. You're an assassin." And I'm like, "What?" So yeah, that's my name.
Oh my gosh.
So it's funny. So I pay attention to people's names. I forget your name, but I'll pay attention.
Well, that's cool. So how did you end up in real estate?
I left education after being there for 17 years in 2018. And I live in Cane Island. And Cane Island is this neighborhood west of Houston. We were the 8th house in the neighborhood. So I've been around new construction, walking, and I'd go into people's houses, and the whole new construction thing fascinated me, just because you could design your own house. You could design all the things, and there was little things that you pay attention to. So when I was leaving education, I was like, "Oh, let's try real estate." My now team leaders were leaving their brokerage, going to EXP. So I was like, "Hey, what are y'all doing?" Because I'd become friends with them because 3 years before that, they had sold our house. So that's how I met them. We became friends, awesome people. And I'm like, "Hey, what are y'all doing?" Because I don't know anything about real estate. Let me learn from nice people. And that's how it's been the entire time. So now 6 years later, I've actually joined the team.
Nice.
With the Franklin team. I've been with them. I was under them in EXP, so I was learning all about the world and the sphere and how they do stuff. I'm like, I need the team. I need some of the systems that they have, because while I love running around and trying to help people with issues in their house, the paperwork I didn't enjoy. It's great. The conversations, like I was saying, that I've had with people with education are different than in real estate, but they're still big. Yeah. So, the conversations are different, and it's just, I don't freak out about these conversations. I try to front load them when we're having issues with a sale or a purchase. I feel like I've got good intuition on deals. Like sometimes we will have a deal and I'll say, "Hey, this feels like this happened." And it's like, "What do you mean?" It's like, I don't think they read the contract. They answered too quickly. They didn't notice the fact that we asked for everything.
Yeah.
Fast forward a week and a half later when we were negotiating inspections, and then they say, "Hey, your numbers are off." No, my numbers are not off. You just didn't read your contract. You didn't see what was all in there.
Yeah, it's just a big surprise.
And then crickets for a day. And then, okay, let's move on. It's like, oh, well, great. I've got something for my clients.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's with real estate, I take my role as a fiduciary very, very seriously. One of the guys that was in leadership in our full brokerage talked about privacy, and if, for instance, if you're my client, unless you give me express instruction that I can tell that person that we're working together, it's none of their business. So if you refer them to me and say, "Hey, come and work with Ilich," I'm like, "Who? What?" Because it's none of their business what we're talking about, what we're doing, because it's very personal stuff, and I want to make sure that you know that I'm not telling anybody any of your business. Because so much very personal issues come up in real estate.
It's a huge rate. Typically, a move comes with a life transition of some sort, right?
Yes, and some are bigger than others, and of course I've got to be able to manage those. Divorces are fun because you just have to manage people and you have to help them have a good transition to whatever's next,
Right.
And like with a baby's coming, great. Let's get to this. And then, if they're new parents, while I don't have children. I have one, two, three, four nieces and a nephew. So I've been around children. Plus, as in my elementary times, I'm like, there's been times where I was in charge of 1,000 children.
Right. So you
So
taught at the elementary level?
yes,
That's so interesting.
yes,
Yeah, my husband teaches at an elementary school.
I loved it. I loved the little ones because they were like sponges. Middle school liked to talk back, and then high school they
They just
never.
think they know everything already.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And then when I was first going into education, this little second grader comes up to me and it's like, "You're the best ever," and I'm like, "I know." And then I realized that every second grader says that to everybody.
Aw.
So it's like, "Oh, great, you punked me." No, but anyway,
But
so
it's not easy, right? And I know a lot of people will say you're selling real estate, so yes, you need to know about houses and how that process works, but so much of it is psychology.
mhm,
And if you can survive a school year in charge of second graders,
mhm.
right? I get what you're saying.
Tell me what's going on. And then of course you hear the same thing with sellers and buyers of homes, where they'll say blah 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 these things, and um, then I have to draw back to them and say, well, you said you wanted 4 bedrooms. We're looking at 3 bedrooms. Are we still going to 4? Are we looking at 3? Which it could be something that's minor as that, or a bigger kitchen. Well, you said you wanted a bigger kitchen. We know how to make sure so that in 3 weeks you're not saying, oh, I need to pull out because the kitchen's not big enough.
Yeah, smart.
It's like, let's get it correctly. Like, it was funny. I had this one deal where the home was over $1 million. So it was, everybody would have been like, woohoo, do nothing to mess it up. But I wasn't excited about the houses that we were looking at. And the wife mentioned it to me. She goes, Ilich, it doesn't look like you're excited about this house. One of the houses we were looking at. And I told her, well, honestly, you told me you wanted ABC. We're not getting ABC yet. And you're spending $1 million. You should be getting ABC. And then 20 minutes later, I was like, hey, let's go look at this house. And she didn't want to because it had ugly pictures,
Mm.
which goes back to marketing. You have to have really good pictures, help the house tell the story through pictures so people want to go see it. We go in there literally, we open the door, the wife and I look at each other, we take a step back, kind of like on uh, um, Uncle Buck, the movie Uncle Buck,
Yeah.
when Macaulay Culkin runs in, he goes, who are you? Same kind of thing, like, oh, what is this? All the things hit immediately as we open the front door. And she looked at me and she goes, oh, this is nice. And I'm like, yeah.
You say now this one I'm getting
Now
excited
this one I'm
about.
getting excited about.
Yeah.
Yes, it's got this, and it was a lot of things about feng shui and religious things that they needed in the home. And I'm like, it points the right way. The stairs point the right way. Your bedroom's located in the correct corner. There's no this, no that. All the things were hitting. And then, of course, the transaction was smooth because it was the house they wanted, basically. So,
So do you think that buyers, because it's a great instance, do you
mhm.
think that there's like buyer fatigue? Is that a real thing where like they look at so many homes that after a while they're just kind of almost exhausted with the process, and so then they start to maybe subconsciously, like they don't even realize that they're compromising or they're kind of lowering their standards because they just want to get through that process?
Short answer, yes. So I preempt that by listening to one of our other business partners said that purchasing real estate is like dating. You have to understand exactly what it is that you're looking for and make a list. And of course, the list can't be 45 things long because you're not going to find the perfect thing. But if you can find 80% of your list, that's
Mhm.
great because there's no perfect mate
Yeah.
in life, for whoever you marry, but also there's no perfect mate in the house unless you build, and then of course when you build, then, there's also parameters, unless, the helipad is included or something. you
So who
know,
doesn't want a
yeah,
helipad?
exactly. Right. Houston traffic, we
How
need,
great would that
I need
be?
3 of them, all of them full red. Um, uh, yeah, so you got to preempt all that and say, okay, well, let's narrow down the list and exactly what it is that you're looking for. Let's see if we can get 80%. If we get to 90%, fantastic. But at 90%, let's make an offer, because one of my good friends, she has a sign in her office that says, "The house you think about today is the house that the people yesterday thought about and are buying as soon as you leave." It happens all the time.
Yeah,
You were gonna buy something, and then you thought about it, and then you come back and it's gone. And then I tell a lot of them, like, I don't know what it is about me, but like, I open that front door and then karma just kicks in and everybody wants that house. And it's happened several times where it just kind of ding ding ding. They have three offers. Of course, now we're thinking, oh, baloney, no three offers. And then 4 days later, it's under
it's
option. So
gone.
it's like, guess what? Not baloney.
Yeah,
It happened, and but that's also the importance of having a good needs list, a good wants list, um, and being realistic on it, and of course being pre-approved.
yeah, being ready.
Exactly, know your budget, and of course, right now in this market, it's July 2025. um,
Working with buyers.
uh-huh.
What's your process with those buyers? Because sometimes you get buyers that they get so excited by the properties, they just want to go look at houses. They don't want to stop, pause, and really find out, like, can I get financing? What does that financing look like? So how do you work with those buyers?
It depends. If a buyer is a lead that I get, for instance, through the team, I'll go show them one, because I want them to meet me, for us to have conversations face to face, and not me over the phone telling them, no, you can't do that. Because the next agent will do whatever it is they're asking to do. Um, while we're face to face, it's like, hey, in order to put out an offer, we have to put in a pre approval. Do we have one of those? It's like, oh, no, not yet. No, no, no. I'm like, well, it takes a couple of days for those to kick through. Um, and I'll send them link of lenders that they can talk to depending on their situation. Because if I know what products lenders have, I'll say, okay, you're a left-handed pirate. Great, this this lender can help left-handed pirates. And he's a left-handed pirate himself, so he understands your plight.
And you said, what neighborhood are you in? You're
Cane
in
Island
you're in
next
Cane
door.
Island, just right next door.
Yeah.
Okay, so but you said you're a Grange Ranger. So tell me about that.
Grange Ranger, Johnson Development, who's developing Grange. We were one of 14. I'm one of 14 that was chosen to basically be ambassadors for the neighborhood.
The market has definitely shifted. What are you seeing out there?
Okay, here's what I think about market shifts. They're always going to happen.
Yep.
Like that T-shirt says, "Shift happens." It's not all going to stay the same. Always going to be the same. Back when I was in education, I was there when the iPad came out, and I remember the mass hysteria with teachers thinking the iPad was going to replace them, and they're going to put an iPad on a stick, and I've seen them on wheels, and it's going to come, and they're going to replace us, and we're going to be gone, and da 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 da. I see the same in real estate. Like, I was doing this. I was on this panel once for Chase Bank, talking about what's going on with the market, and specifically how it's affecting the Hispanic community. Blah blah blah. Back then, I was president of NAREP Katy West Houston, and now I'm an alumni, which means that I'm old, and which is neat. I love it. It's a great opportunity. But there's always something. There's always an excuse. It's kind of like going back to dating. Real estate is like dating, and there's always something. You go on a date with somebody, and it's like, oh, he didn't know how to eat right, or he'd like Thousand Island. I don't like Thousand Island. It's always something. Same thing with real estate. And of course, at that when we were on that panel, I said, um, it's either going to be interest rates are too high, interest rates are too low, there's too much inventory, not enough inventory. Rihanna hasn't released her latest album. There's always an excuse. If you need to make a move, make the move. If you need to sell your house, sell your house. You need to buy a new one because At the beginning of the pandemic, you had no kids, and then of course pandemic happened, and now you have three. You can't be in that one bedroom apartment
Right.
with three kids. That's not right for your family. Um, if at the beginning of the pandemic you could afford 400,000, now you can afford 300,000. We'll make the best of it. Stuff happens. Stay in that house for a couple years, flip it, make it a rental, make income for your family, and then use the equity to buy something better. There's always going to be a way for stuff to be better. There's always going to be something. As a family, make the decision that's right for your family.
Yeah.
And that's with anything. It's like, help me make a solution happen for you, but there's always going to be something. Let's find the right house for you. If it's you need 3 bedrooms, well, let's find something 3 bedrooms. Let me be the one to negotiate for you to get you the best situation for your family.
So looking at these new home communities that I've been looking at lately, and I'm talking about like the really new ones, like this one
Mm-hmm.
just getting started. The amenities aren't even fully built yet. I've gone to a couple of neighborhoods where they're just opening, and I'm seeing way more in those communities than I've seen in the past, right? Like some of the older communities built 2010, 2018, even, where it's just, we have a community pool
Mm-hmm.
and a tiny little pool house where the teenage lifeguards hang out, and that's it, right? And now we can charge HOA dues. And these new master plan communities take it to a whole new level. What are your thoughts there? I mean, I think it's a great thing, but what are you seeing from buyers?
Well, it's more of lifestyle. It's like you're not just going to be at home, um, not doing anything. You want to go out and do something with your family, and also, that's how you bring. You said the operative word there is communities. You know, you need to provide spaces for people to congregate, to have fun, to um, be, and then build community. What's that Swahili saying? It takes a village. Well, you got to build
Mm-hmm.
the village. So with these master plan communities, and of course I've seen like Johnson Development does really well at it. um, and as a Grange Ranger, we're also asked about what kind of amenities we would like to see, and specifically here in Katy, um, we've voiced our opinions on what we've seen people say. Like for instance, Katy High School here specifically has a phenomenal volleyball team. I dropped that hint. I was like, hey, it'd be great for them to be able to have volleyball area close-ish.
Yeah,
Of
that's a
course,
great idea.
pickleball is a huge thing. It's about community and like bringing everybody together, and of course you have to provide those things to really have a robust community. Like for instance, us in Cane Island next door to Grange, we're 2,200 homes. People like to do stuff, and people like activity. People like ways of joining together, and especially if you have a newer community, there's going to be a bunch of kids. Have something for the kids to do, um, and that's how you meet your neighbors. And for us in Cane Island, I know that there's several um, godparents that have come from community. There's several. One time we had an event, and that's before we had our full amenities. We had such a humongous party that, how did I say this? 8 children came out of that. Yes, we had an awesome event.
So were they people that knew each other before the event,
No, no, no.
or
These
they
were
met at
these
the
no.
event?
These were husbands and wives that
Oh,
were having a
okay.
good old time, and everybody was enjoying. Not a upside down pineapple situation or anything like that. But it's like everybody had so much fun, and it's like when you put down the stresses of the day and you have a good old time with your neighbors, you know, fun stuff happens. And
So I'm encouraged to hear that
mm-hmm,
because I just bought in a master plan community. And one of the reasons that we decided to do that was because, so I'm from California. We lived on a cul-de-sac, and our our little circle there, like everyone got together. 4th of July, everybody pulled their grills out to the middle of the cul-de-sac and we all grilled together and we set up tables. We were, a really active neighborhood in that regard. And then we moved to Houston, and I've been in 3 different houses during that 18 years. And every single one of them, we move in with the high hopes of, oh, maybe we'll meet new neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't. Like, people back their car into their garage and shut the door. And so when we decided, okay, my husband and I, our kids are grown, we're entering this kind of new phase and we're going to buy a house, we looked in a master plan community that had those kind of plans, hoping that, okay, finally we'll get the community and the neighborhood interaction that we really miss.
Well, it's funny because I'm also the admin for the Facebook page for Cane Island, for the first page, because there's been other spin-offs, and also even their hyper pages just for your section,
Okay.
and it takes work. It's also the being a neighbor is a relationship, and you've got to work on it and be positive and try to make sure that you are being a good neighbor and being friendly. Um, so it's one of those things that, like in the master plan community, come together with the people, and you'll find your folks, you'll find your people.
Yeah, I think I'm a little afraid that I'm starting to get that reputation in my neighborhood because I started walking, and that was a
Mm-hmm.
big thing, right? We were the second people to move into the neighborhood, and then we've watched the houses. Every night I see like a new lights come on, like, oh, someone's in there now, someone's in there now. And I have found that as people are moving in, right, their garage doors open and they're kind of going in and out, unloading the truck. So I just started walking every night because I
Mm-hmm.
walk anyway. And I thought, every day I'll come home every night. I'll be like, I met 2 new neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
So just to kind of get that feel, and I think it's easier, maybe in a new construction neighborhood because it's a new house for everyone.
Yeah, I think there's a promise of new, and everybody's discovering the thing, so it's like everybody's a little bit more open to,
They're kind of excited,
yes, it's
right?
like
It's
my
a
new
Yeah.
house, and look at my new house. And
So what trends are you seeing in new construction? Because you said you look at a lot of new construction homes. Have you seen changes over the last 5 to 10 years? Like, what are you seeing that's new?
well, it's weird what people are wanting to go to. Like, for instance, open concept is still a thing, but some people want a little more division with their open concept, which then I'm like, that's not open concept. But like for instance, the home office has become, you want to close that off. And like for instance, I know because my office is a hot mess, but it's my hot mess, and I know where all the messes is. So that's why, like when we've done videos in this house specifically, for instance, um, and I said, oh, this is bedroom number 2 or whatever. What else could this be? What else? What is the versatility that you got to be able to see in this bedroom? Because, like for instance, if you are now permanently working from home, that closet in the back of the house may not work. You might want a window. Plus, if you said you were on Teams, if you're on Zooms or any sort of communication with your company, you might want to be in front of a window so you look bright and airy, so your
Yeah.
camera can see you looking spry. Um, where's that office going to be? So home offices has been a big thing. Multiple home offices has been a thing. So people need a little bit bigger house, because if you're with
Because if your husband is the circle
the
back guy, you don't want to share an office with that.
hey, he sounds like a disc jockey when he's on the phone, and you're like, oh my god. And then divorce.
Divorce.
Yeah, you're like, well, because it's weird. Um, anyway, so multiple offices has become a thing. So a slightly larger home, um, but also people having a little bit more delineation of their rooms. I've seen is like a trend that people are coming into, because it's like, well, I would like a little more division here. And of course, me trying to solution it or be a solution person, I'm like, well, what if we did floor to ceiling bookshelves? So we're not necessarily putting up a wall in this open concept home, but you're still having the division and something that's architecturally and easy to do. and it's like first time home buyers. Oh, we want more. Da da da. Like, well, bookshelf. Find something that's 97 inches tall, and then you know, it's affordable. Um, there are more parents moving in, so of course, you know, finding a good in-law suites or in-law areas um, is becoming a thing more. Um, and then also designing that, when if I have a seller, staging it like a mother-in-law suite, not like Susie or Bobby's cute little room. Make it look a little more grown up,
Yeah.
so grandma and grandpa might be able to see themselves staying there, even if it's just a visit.
Yeah.
You know, it's got to be an area that will allow them to have the queen or full size bed plus side places. The lightning round.
So here, lightning round, right? Yep. So, okay. So buy it or bust it. For people that don't know, bust it is right. Transaction cancels, falls through. In Texas here, we call that a busted transaction, right? So buy it or bust it. All right. I'm going off of some of the things I've seen lately that I think are interesting. First one, buy it or bust it. Artificial turf in the backyard.
Oh, for me, busted. For the golfers, buy it.
Yeah.
Because I know several of them that have artificial turf back there, and also if you have a fancy pool, you might want it. It just depends.
Okay. All right. I'll give you an easy one. Buy it or bust it pot filler.
Buy it.
Buy two.
Yes, yes. Buy it for grandma
Buy it for grandma.
or the
Okay.
cook.
There you go. Okay. Buy it or bust it. Multi-generational living.
Oh, buy it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, I saw somebody say recently, probably on TikTok, that moving back in with your parents is the new flex.
Some people have to do that,
Yeah.
you know, because it's in this new. Well, not new, because it's all the economy is always new. It's always different. Just going back to the changes. Um, do what you got to do. You know, if you got to move in with mom and dad, and you can, great, save some money instead of throwing away $2,000 a month on rent. In a year, you have a good chunk of a down payment.
Yeah.
Or you go to new construction and they'll help you with closing costs. Or to build your credit. Because guess what? If you had drama or your company downsized or you got fired and issues, move in with your parents. You know, if they have the space, great.
Yeah. Okay. Last one. Buy it or bust it. Ceiling fans.
Mini helicopters, buy it.
The more blades, the better.
Yes, yes.
Bust the 2-blade ceiling fan.
Bust the cute ceiling fan. We're in
You need
Houston.
power.
We need a hurricane in the house. Pretty hurricane, but a hurricane nonetheless. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much for walking with me today. This was a lot of fun. It made the walk go a lot faster. And I hope that we shared good information for everybody that's listening and that you'll continue to listen and follow us for more. Thanks.